Have you ever noticed how people test you with silence, not words? They ignore your messages. They make you wait. They distort your emotions just to see how much control they have over you. They want to see you chase them, react, and explode. Because the moment you do, they realize they've got you. Every time you lose control, you give someone the map of your mind. This is the modern game. Control through emotions. They don't need to break you. They just need to make you feel. Your anger becomes their victory. Your guilt becomes their chain. Your sadness becomes their control. Machiavelli once said, "He who controls your emotions controls your destiny." And that's exactly what most people miss. In this video, we'll reveal how to become emotionally dangerous, calm in chaos, unshakable under pressure, and impossible to manipulate. Because once you control your emotions, no one can control you again. Welcome to Machiavelli's Code, where power meets psychology, and silence becomes your strongest weapon. 1. The new form of control. Machiavelli once said, "He who controls your emotions controls your fate." And that single truth defines the invisible chains that bind most people. In today's world, power doesn't always come from force. It comes from emotional control. People don't need to shout, threaten, or dominate you physically. All they have to do is learn how to pull the strings of your feelings. They use guilt to make you obedient, to make you feel responsible for their pain. They use flattery to make you chase approval, to keep you working harder for their validation. They use affection to make you loyal, even when they've stopped deserving it. And you don't even realize it's happening. Every time you overreact, you hand them control. Every time you explain yourself to someone who already made up their mind, you surrender power. Every time you beg for closure, you give them another key to your emotions. And once someone has access to your emotions, they can predict you, manipulate you, and rule you. You become readable, controllable, programmable. They know exactly which buttons to press to make you feel guilt, fear, or desire. And that's how control is built, not through power, but through your reactions. So the real question isn't, who's manipulating me? It's deeper. It's, what weakness inside me allows them to? Maybe it's your fear of being alone. Maybe it's your need to be understood. Maybe it's your obsession with proving your worth to people who don't even see your value. That's how emotional power is stolen. Not by others being strong, but by you being unguarded. You can't control what people do, but you can control how you respond. And when you master that, you become emotionally dangerous, untouchable. Because an emotionally dangerous person doesn't react, they observe. They don't beg for respect, they earn it through silence. They don't chase understanding, they choose peace. When you stop letting others decide how you feel, you take your power back. And once that happens, no one, not a lover, not a friend, not an enemy, can ever control your fate again. 2. The emotion trap. The most dangerous manipulation doesn't come with shouting, arguments, or open conflict. It comes wrapped in tenderness, disguised as love, as care, as concern. It's the kind of control that feels comforting at first. Someone learns you like a subject, quietly studying your emotions, your triggers, your patterns. They notice what makes you angry, what makes you doubt yourself, what makes you soften. And when the time comes, they use it. They guilt you for pulling away. They shame you for protecting your peace. They call you cold, distant, or heartless. Not because you are, but because you stopped being easy to control. That's the true art of manipulation. It doesn't force you. It convinces you. It convinces you to question your worth. It convinces you to explain your silence. It convinces you to feel guilty for choosing yourself. But here's the secret most never understand. Manipulators fear your calm more than your anger. Because anger is predictable. It's emotional fuel. It tells them exactly where your weak spots are. But calm is unreadable. Calm means they've lost their map. Calm means their words no longer move you. When you stop reacting, you shift the balance of power. You force them to sit alone with the chaos they tried to create in you. And that silence, that unbothered peace, terrifies them. Because when you're calm, you're not playing their game anymore. You're not defending yourself, explaining yourself, or seeking their approval. You're simply detached, and detachment is emotional dominance. They can't manipulate someone who doesn't need validation. They can't control someone who's not afraid to walk away. They can't win against someone who stays calm when the world tries to provoke them. So remember this. The real power is never in anger. It's in restraint. The calm mind is the most dangerous weapon you can ever possess. 3. Emotional control is power. Machiavelli once taught that a ruler must never be ruled by emotion. Because the moment your emotions begin to dictate your actions, you hand your power away. You can love someone deeply, but never depend on them for your peace. You can feel anger burn within you, but don't let it command your words. You can feel fear, but don't let it decide your path. That's the difference between ordinary people and powerful ones. Most people are slaves to how they feel. They get angry and destroy everything they've built. They get afraid and never take the risk. They fall in love and forget themselves. But the few who learn to master emotion, instead of being mastered by it, rise above the chaos. True power isn't about feeling nothing. It's about feeling everything without losing balance. It's the ability to experience pain and still stay composed, to be betrayed and still keep your dignity, to stand in front of chaos and still choose peace. When you can be insulted and remain calm, when you can be provoked and remain silent, when you can be doubted and still move forward, you become someone the world can't shake. That's what it means to be emotionally dangerous. It's not rage, it's restraint. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. It's not weakness, it's control. Because silence is not the absence of emotion, it's the presence of mastery. And calmness doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care selectively. You choose where your energy goes, who deserves your reaction, and what deserves your attention. The Stoics understood this long before psychology gave it a name. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That's the essence of emotional control. It's not about becoming cold. It's about becoming clear. When you stop being controlled by your reactions, you stop being predictable. And when you stop being predictable, you become powerful. People can't play with what they can't read. They can't control what doesn't react. And they can't break someone who has already mastered himself. So don't suppress your emotions. Study them, understand them, let them speak, but never let them lead. Because once you master what's inside, nothing outside can ever master you again. 4. The art of being unreadable. In a world that feeds on emotional reactions, silence becomes a weapon. Calmness becomes a mystery, and indifference, real indifference, becomes power. Most people are addicted to emotional noise. They argue to feel important. They provoke just to get a reaction. They want to see you lose control because that's how they measure their influence over you. But when you refuse to react, when you stay calm in the face of chaos, you take that power away. Because when people can't predict you, they can't control you. When they can't read you, they can't use you. And when they can't provoke you, they start to fear you. You become unpredictable. And unpredictability is dangerous. You're like a storm on the horizon, quiet, distant, yet inevitable. Everyone senses your presence, but no one dares to test your limits. They feel your strength, not through words, but through your restraint. That's what it truly means to be emotionally dangerous. You're not emotionless. You're in command. You're not heartless. You're selective with your heart. You don't suppress what you feel. You direct it. Because calmness isn't weakness. It's control. It's the moment when you could explode, but you choose not to. It's when you could argue, but you walk away instead. It's when you know the truth, but you don't need to prove it. People expect you to react. They want you to defend, explain, justify. But when you give them silence, they're left with themselves. And that's what truly unsettles them. They start questioning what you know, what you think, what you'll do next. And that uncertainty is your power. Emotional danger is about self-mastery. It's when your peace no longer depends on how others treat you, when your mood isn't dictated by anyone's approval, when your confidence comes from within, not from validation. That's the kind of strength that can't be faked, and it can't be broken. Because the calm person, the one who chooses silence over reaction, is the one who holds all the control. They've learned the rare art of being unbothered in a world that thrives on chaos. And once you reach that level, no one can touch your peace again. 5. Building the fortress. Your emotions are your kingdom. Your mind is your fortress, and your calmness, that is your crown. Every single day people will try to breach your walls. Some will use guilt, making you feel responsible for their unhappiness. Some will use silence, trying to make you chase their approval. And some will use manipulation, twisting your empathy into weakness. But you must not let them in. Awareness is your first line of defense, knowing when someone's words are meant to disarm you. Detachment is your second, learning to feel without losing control. And discipline is your third, the strength to walk away when peace costs too much. Protect your peace like it's your empire, because it is. Your peace is the territory that your enemies, critics, and manipulators want to invade. They don't need your money or your time. They want your reaction. Because once they have your reaction, they have access to your emotions. And once they have that, they control everything. But when you stay calm, you deny them entry. You remind them that your emotions are guarded, not abandoned. That your silence is strength, not surrender. That your calm is not the absence of feeling. It's the presence of mastery. Emotional control doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've learned to choose what deserves your care. You understand that not every battle deserves a warrior, and not every opinion deserves an answer. Your peace is sacred. It's the throne you sit upon when the world tries to pull you down into chaos. It's your final line of defense, the proof that you've learned how to lead yourself. Machiavelli once said that the wise man builds walls not to shut the world out, but to rule it from within. That's the essence of self-control. It's not about isolation, it's about sovereignty. It's knowing that your calmness is your greatest form of dominance. So wear your calm like a crown. Guard your emotions like a king guards his throne. Because once you protect your inner world, no one, no betrayal, no silence, no manipulation can ever conquer you again. 6. The Machiavellian Principle. Machiavelli believed that most men are not destroyed by their enemies. They are destroyed by their own emotions. It's not betrayal, loss, or failure that breaks them. It's their inability to control how they respond to it. The strong survive not because they are heartless, but because they are disciplined. They feel everything, but they don't let those feelings dictate their choices. They understand that emotion is a weapon, and whoever controls it controls the outcome. The weak seek approval. They crave validation to feel worthy. They live for the opinions of others, and that dependence becomes their prison. The strong seek control, not control over others, but over themselves. They don't react to every insult or every test. They pause, think, and then move with precision. The weak react. They let anger speak for them. They let fear stop them. They let love blind them. Their emotions become their master, and they obey without realizing it. But the strong, they calculate. They observe before they act. They understand that silence is strategy and patience is power. They know that sometimes doing nothing is the strongest move of all. That's the real game of power. Not domination, but self-mastery. Because once you master your emotions, no one can ever use them against you again. No guilt can bend you. No praise can control you. No manipulation can reach you. You become calm in chaos, the one who can think clearly when everyone else panics. You become strategic under pressure, the one who doesn't move until the time is right. You become untouchable, a storm that people sense but never see coming. And that's what true power feels like. It's quiet. It's deliberate. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need to prove itself, because it already knows. Machiavelli understood that the world belongs to those who remain composed when others lose control. Because in every situation, the one who stays calm wins, not through aggression, but through awareness, not through emotion, but through mastery. And when you reach that level of control, you don't chase power, you become it. If this video gave you a new perspective on emotional control and power, don't just scroll away. Master the art of detachment. Subscribe to Machiavelli's Code for more deep, strategic, and life-changing lessons from Machiavellian philosophy. Leave a comment below. Tell us what part of emotional control you're working on right now. And remember, once you become emotionally dangerous, no one can ever rule your mind again.